The Cerebro system was hacked, but not by Magneto. Wolverine walked out of the mansion and never came back. A mutant killing machine was unleashed, and it only spares one name, Logan. Cyclops called him a traitor. Jean tried to reach him, but he ignored the psychic calls. Beast found something buried in Janosha, a contract signed by Wolverine and the enemy. But before Xavier could expose the truth, Logan sent a final message. I didn't betray the X-Men. I'm the only one trying to save them. The security alarm didn't even blare. It just flickered, a soft glitch in Cerebro's core. So quiet, even Charles didn't feel it in his mind. For exactly 13 seconds, the database went dark. When it came back online, a single name had been accessed. Not Magneto, not Apocalypse, not even Mystique. Logan. The lights in the X-Mansion dimmed as Storm stepped into the war room, her voice already tight. He's gone. Define gone, Cyclops snapped. Still in his training gear, sweat steaming off his shoulders. Off-grid, off-mission. Gone. No comms. No trace. Charles sat still, his hands folded tightly beneath his chin. And Cerebro, hacked, Beast interrupted, appearing in the doorway, holding a scorched drive. Internal breach, not external. No one broke in from outside. Someone already in the system triggered it. Someone who knew what to erase. Scott's jaw clenched. Of course it was Logan. Who else disappears like a damn ghost? Jean stepped beside him, eyes glowing faintly. Don't jump too. I'm not jumping, Jean. I'm landing exactly where he wants us to. Outside, the jet engines roared to life. Within seconds, they were airborne, Cyclops, Jean, Beast, and Storm. Destination, Alberta. A decommissioned anti-mutant facility, now burning. By the time they arrived, the snow around the compound had melted into ash. Charred bodies, armed guards, technicians, scientists, all of them ripped apart by something fast, brutal, and clawed. Storm hovered above the destruction. No survivors. No hostiles. Look at this, Beast muttered, crouching near the wreckage. He pulled a half-melted panel from a wrecked vehicle. Deep grooves, 3 parallel slashes, ran diagonally across the metal. Adamantium, Beast confirmed. No blade cuts like this. Jean's face twisted with dread. But why this place? Why now? Scott's voice was ice. Because he's not hunting them. He's covering his tracks. They found more on the outskirts, a flipped refugee bus, used to transport young mutants from hostile zones to safe houses. Windows shattered, doors pried open. The cabin stank of smoke and burnt rubber. And on the driver's seat, splattered blood and claw marks. I want to believe this was someone else, Jean whispered, her fingers trembling against the broken windshield. I want to believe this wasn't him. It was him, Scott said coldly. And we're going to stop him. Back at the mansion, Charles Xavier sat alone in Logan's quarters. The lights were off. The room smelled like leather and old cigars. Nothing looked out of place, until Charles's chair clicked against something beneath the floor. A false panel, hidden under the bed. Using his powers, Charles twisted the magnetic locks aside and lifted it. Inside was a steel box, black and coated with blood DNA locks. The moment Charles's fingers brushed it, it hissed open. Inside were 4 things. A photograph of Logan with a young girl, X-23. A vial of glowing blue serum labeled Virus X, Stage 3. A Sentinel circuit board, fried. And a hand-drawn map, marked with one phrase scribbled across the top. Final protocol: save mutants, kill the future. Charles froze, his heart beat louder than his thoughts. This wasn't a betrayal. It was a mission. Beast was the next to learn. In Logan's data cache was a voice recording, encoded with genetic lock encryption. Only Beast could open it. Logan's voice came through like gravel, soaked in regret. If you're hearing this, I'm already gone. I didn't leave because I wanted to. I left because I had to. Cerebro's compromised. Not just by humans, by something worse. Something mutant. We thought we were evolving. We're being harvested. Trask was just the first phase. They're cloning us, breaking us down, building weapons out of our kids. I saw it with my own eyes. You want to know why I took out that transport bus? Because every child on board was infected. Sleeper units. Sentinels with skin. One word from the hive, and they'd wipe out every X-Man in seconds. He paused. Xavier won't believe me. Jean won't either. Scott will want to kill me. But I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for Laura. That was the last word. Laura, X-23, his daughter, his clone, his reason. Jean collapsed into a chair, hands over her mouth. She tried to reach Logan telepathically for hours. Every time, she got static. Rage, pain, guilt. She thought he was slipping into feral madness. But now she knew. He's burning everything, Jean said. Not because he's evil, because he thinks it's the only way. Scott refused to hear it. He's a murderer. He's a soldier. He's a traitor. He's trying to stop something we haven't even seen yet. The room turned to silence. Storm finally spoke. Then what do? We find him, Charles said, before he finishes the protocol. But Logan wasn't hiding. He wanted to be found, because somewhere in a fortified Janosha ruin, where mutant DNA archives were stored beneath layers of ancient tech and forgotten war bunkers, Logan was already inside, and Magneto stood beside him. The unholy alliance was real. The man who once hunted mutantkind for the government now stood with a man who vowed to end humanity. Why help me? Logan asked, shoving a thermite charge into the wall. Magneto smirked, cape flickering behind him. Because Charles wants peace. You want prevention. And I want results. You sure you're ready to destroy your own kind to save him? Are you? Logan didn't answer. He just turned and placed one last charge against the vault. He lit his cigar, exhaled once, and whispered, "Time to end the future before it begins." Then the wall exploded, and the mutant world would never be the same again. The explosion in Janosha lit the night sky like the sun had fallen. Dust and burning concrete rained down in slow motion. Wolverine walked through the smoke, claws still hot from cutting through reinforced alloy. Magneto hovered behind him, cape unfurling in the blazing wind like the wings of a fallen god. Beneath them, the mutant DNA vault was open. Inside were rows of cryo canisters, each one containing encoded genetic blueprints of extinct and future mutant bloodlines. The history and future of mutantkind in fragile glass tubes. Logan didn't hesitate. He began smashing them one by one. Magneto watched him carefully. You understand what this will mean, yes? The X-Men will never forgive you. Logan didn't look up. Forgiveness is a luxury for people who can sleep. Magneto actually smiled. You always did have a poet buried somewhere inside that savage skull. Logan didn't react. He crushed another canister under his heel. Blue mist hissed out and vanished into the air. He paused, not because of doubt, but because he sensed a shift in the wind. Someone was coming, and they were coming fast. A sonic boom cracked the sky. Storm descended in a spiral of lightning, eyes glowing white. The ground beneath her feet rippled with thunder. Behind her landed Cyclops, visor already glowing. Jean floated down with her hands pressed to her temples, mind reaching across the battlefield for a presence she knew better than she knew herself. Beast rolled out of the jet before it had fully touched ground, landing on all fours, muscles coiled and ready. Their faces carried shock, betrayal, anger, and something deeper, fear. Wolverine didn't turn to face them. He didn't need to. He could hear their heartbeats, every one of them. Cyclops raised his voice, the anger already boiling. Step away from the vault, Logan. Logan's claws retracted with a metallic shink, like he was choosing peace. Or maybe he was just saving them for later. Not yet, he growled. Storm's lightning flickered hotter. Enough riddles, Logan. Explain yourself. You already know, he replied. Beast roared. Children, Logan. Those transports you attacked had children. Wolverine finally turned, eyes colder than steel. They weren't children anymore. Jean stepped forward, pain written across her face. She wasn't angry. She was breaking. Logan, let me in. Let me see everything. Let me carry it with you. He looked at her the way dying men look at the sunrise, with love and with finality. No, you shouldn't have to see what I've seen. Cyclops stepped in front of Jean, jaw clenched. He's manipulating you. He always has. Jean's voice cracked. Scott, stop. But Scott kept going. He wants you to feel sorry for him. He wants you to think he's protecting us. Logan took a single step forward. You think I want this? His voice shook, not from fear, but from rage held too long. You think I like killing people who look at my eyes like they're still alive inside? You think I like cutting down kids who don't even know they're loaded weapons waiting to go off? No one spoke. Logan's breath fogged in the cold air. They planted Sentinel seed tech into their DNA. Trask called it next evolution. Sentinels that don't need metal. Sentinels that bleed. Sentinels that pass as us. Beast's eyes widened. That shouldn't be possible. They used mutant DNA to make it possible, Logan answered. Your DNA. Mine. Hers. Jean flinched. Storm whispered, they weaponized us against ourselves. Logan nodded. That vault, he pointed behind him, is ground zero. Blueprint for every weapon they'll make from now on. Cyclops didn't care. Or maybe he couldn't afford to. All I see is you destroying the future we've fought for. The hope Charles built. Logan stepped closer, claws ready, but lowered. Hope doesn't matter if we're all dead. Scott fired. A blazing red beam cut the air and slammed into Logan's chest, launching him backward into a stone pillar. Jean screamed. Scott. But Logan got up. No hesitation. No fear. Just that old, terrible calm. All right, he exhaled. We're doing this. Magneto stepped forward, metal rising around him like a hurricane of razors. Allow me. No, Logan's voice cut like a blade. This is between me and them. Magneto hovered back, amused. Very well. Let the family argue. Storm struck first. Lightning speared from her fingertips, slamming into Wolverine and blasting the floor apart. Beast lunged through the dust cloud and caught Logan midair, throwing him into a steel column with a sickening crack. Cyclops aimed at Logan's head. Jean slapped his visor aside with telekinesis. Scott, stop. Cyclops recoiled. Jean, he's killing mutants. He's saving them. By slaughtering them, they were already gone. Logan staggered out of the rubble, chest healing, bones knitting under steaming skin. Jean, he rasped, tell them what you saw. Her voice was barely audible. Children with metal hearts. Blood full of wires. Eyes that blinked in code. Storm whispered, horrified, how many? Jean's voice broke. All of them. Even Scott hesitated. The rage didn't disappear. It just didn't know where to go anymore. Beast lowered his fists. Storm's lightning dimmed. But Scott was not done. You don't get to decide who lives, Logan. Not you. Not ever. Logan didn't flinch. Then stop me. Scott tore off his visor. A blast of raw, unfiltered optic fury lit the ruins like a supernova. The beam swallowed Logan whole, burning him, vaporizing stone, kicking up a hurricane of dust and flame. When the blast stopped, Logan was on one knee, burned, bleeding, barely healing, but still alive. He lifted his head. Blood ran from his mouth. His voice was a whisper made of knives. You don't have to forgive me. He pushed himself to his feet. You just have to let me finish. The ground rumbled. Magneto raised a hand, and behind him, the second vault door began to open. Something massive, something dormant, something alive. Jean's eyes widened. No, Logan, tell me you didn't. Logan stared at the floor. I found Laura. Storm's breath caught. Beast's heart stopped. Scott's fury froze. Where is she? Jean asked, voice shaking. Logan didn't answer. He didn't have to, because the vault finished opening, and a silhouette stepped out. Small, young, claws already extended, eyes glowing cold, empty, programmed. X-23, his daughter. And she didn't recognize him. She stepped out of the vault like a shadow wearing skin. X-23, Laura, the girl Wolverine had raised like a daughter. The girl who had once clung to him, cried into his chest, fallen asleep on his shoulder. Now she stood barefoot on the cold Janosha stone, breathing slow, steady, mechanical. Her pupils shifted in micro-lens focus. There was no recognition in them, no warmth, just programming. Logan froze, not because he feared her, but because he remembered her. Jean felt his mind flare, like a memory screaming inside his skull. She saw flashes without even entering him, a small hand holding his. Blood, needles. Laura in a lab. Logan tearing the world apart to save her. Jean whispered, "Logan, she's alive." Cyclops raised his visor. "Alive? Look at her. She's a weapon." Logan's growl was low enough to shake the ground. "You shut your damn mouth." X-23 cocked her head, processing tone, posture, target threat level. She spoke, voice flat. "Project X-23. Target Logan. Terminate." She lunged. Logan barely got his claws out in time. Metal rang against metal. Adamantium versus adamantium. Sparks flying as claws collided. X-23 didn't fight like Logan. She didn't brawl. She didn't hesitate. She moved like a programmed ghost, twisting, flipping, slashing, every movement optimized for kill efficiency. She cut him across the throat before anyone could blink. Jean screamed his name. Logan stumbled, clutching the wound as it healed. But X-23 gave no space. She launched onto his chest and drove both claws straight down. Blood sprayed. Logan roared, grabbing her wrists and throwing her backward. But she flipped, landed silently, and charged again. Beast couldn't stand it. "We have to help him." Cyclops moved forward. Jean stopped him mid-step with telekinesis. "No, Logan won't let us touch her." Storm's voice trembled. "Jean, she's going to kill him." Jean shook her head, tears streaming. "He would rather die than let us hurt her." Magneto hovered above them all, observing like a king watching gladiators. Fascinating, isn't it? Human instinct versus manufactured instinct. One fights for love, the other for programming. Logan slammed into a support column as X-23 got him by the throat and drove him into the wall. Her eyes didn't blink. Her breathing didn't change. She was perfect efficiency, exactly what the labs wanted. He didn't raise his claws. He didn't fight back with killing intent. He just tried to hold her. "Laura," he rasped. "Kid, look at me." Her response was a blade through his ribs. Logan dropped to one knee. Blood dripped from his mouth. Not from pain, but from heartbreak, so deep it cracked bone. Jean finally couldn't take it anymore. She pushed into Laura's mind. Storm shouted, "Jean!" No, too late. Jean's mind collided with a wall of static and screaming data. She wasn't entering a memory. She was entering a machine. Images flashed like rapid-fire bullets. Laura strapped to a table. Scientists in hazmat suits. Needles injecting sentinel nanite strains. Her screams not because of pain, but because her memories were being erased. The worst part wasn't the experiments. The worst part was seeing Logan watching from the other side of the glass, but unable to break in time. Jean staggered backward, clutching her head. "They rewrote her," she gasped. "They erased him from her mind." Logan finally spoke, not to the team, but to Laura. "You were never a weapon," he whispered. "You were my kid. They can't take that away." Laura lunged again, claws raised for a killing strike. But Jean, eyes glowing phoenix bright, froze her midair. X-23's body hung suspended, claws inches from Logan's heart. Jean wasn't breathing. No one was. Logan looked up at Jean, not angry, but shattered. "Let her go." Jean's voice cracked. "Logan, she'll kill you. That's not her fault." Cyclops snapped. "You're choosing her over all of us, over the world." Logan stepped forward, blood dripping onto the stone floor. "I'm choosing the only person who never asked to be part of your damn war." Magneto tilted his head, touching. "Truly." Then his voice sharpened. "But you're running out of time, Logan." Logan didn't turn. "What now?" "Trask deployed Phase 3, Magneto said calmly. "The Sleeper Sentinels will activate worldwide in less than 24 hours. Beast's heart dropped. Phase 3. "They don't need robots anymore," Logan said, voice hollow. "They turned mutants into the Sentinels. Anyone born after 2005 has the strain. Cyclops went pale. Storm whispered, "The next generation, all of them." Jean's telekinetic hold weakened, her hands shaking. "Logan," she whispered, "if we let her go, you won't stop her." Logan nodded, eyes locked on Laura's. "I know." He opened his arms, not to fight, to receive her. Jean's voice broke. "She'll kill you." "She already has," he whispered. Jean let go. X-23 dropped from the air like a blade falling. She drove her claws into Logan's chest again, and again, and again. But Logan didn't move. He didn't defend. He just wrapped his arms around her small, shaking body and held her tight. Jean fell to her knees, sobbing. Storm turned away. Cyclops stared, horrified and furious and helpless. Beast covered his mouth with a trembling hand. Magneto watched, silent. Laura kept stabbing, until her movements slowed, until the programming hesitated, until something inside her cracked. Her claws stopped mid-strike. Her tiny shoulders shook. She looked up at Logan. For the first time, a flicker of something human, something remembered. She whispered, voice trembling and childlike, "Daddy." Logan broke. He didn't cry. He just closed his eyes, and every scar on his soul opened at once. "I'm here, kid." Jean collapsed completely, sobbing into her hands. Cyclops looked away. Beast trembled. Storm covered her heart. Magneto lowered his head, not out of pity, but respect. Logan held Laura as she shook in his arms. But the moment of peace didn't last. A low mechanical hum vibrated through the building. Beast's eyes widened. "Oh no." Cyclops lifted his visor. Jean's head snapped up, psychic senses exploding. Storm's lightning surged violently. Magneto smiled like someone who had just heard a familiar song. Logan looked over his shoulder. In the darkness beyond the vault, dozens, no, hundreds, mutant children, pale eyes, cold stares, claws, talons, bone, metal, feathers, all awakened, all sentinel programmed, all turning their heads toward Wolverine. Logan gently set Laura behind him. His claws slid out with a slow, heavy metallic SHHHK. Cyclops whispered the words no one wanted to say. "Logan, what do we do?" Logan's voice was a storm. "We finish what I started." He stepped forward, alone, into the army of the future. The roar he let out shook Janosha, and every world watching. The ground cracked under Logan's boots as he walked toward the swarm. They weren't kids anymore. The Sentinel protocol had taken hold. Dozens of mutant children stood still in the shadows, eyes glowing white, expressions blank, waiting for activation. The youngest looked no older than 5. Some had wings. Others had claws. A few floated slightly above the ground, twitching like broken wires waiting to snap. Storm whispered, "They're not awake yet." Beast scanned the air with a portable reader. "They're syncing. Their neural clocks are counting down. 10 minutes. After that, they won't distinguish between human or mutant. Just targets." Cyclops tightened his fists. "Then we put them down before they wake up." "No," Logan said. Jean stepped beside him. "You can't stop this alone." "I ain't stopping it," he said. He looked back once at Laura. X-23, still trembling, kneeling behind him. "I'm finishing it." Before anyone could speak again, Logan sprinted forward, straight into the swarm. The moment he crossed the threshold, everything exploded. Sentinel children blinked online, limbs transforming, arms splitting into laser emitters, mouths opening to unleash sonic waves. One of them, an 8-year-old with silver eyes, let out a piercing frequency that shattered the stone beneath Logan's feet. He didn't stop. He dodged one energy blast, caught another with his shoulder, and drove his claws into the ground, launching himself like a missile. He didn't slash to kill, he sliced to disable. Knee tendons, wrists, shoulder joints. Precision cuts. He screamed as he fought, not in rage, but in heartbreak. Jean felt it pouring off him in waves, love twisted into violence, pain channeling into precision. He remembered their names, every one of them. He knew them. He had saved them once. Now he had to break them to save the rest. Cyclops finally lost it. We can't just watch. Storm lifted her arms and lightning cracked the ceiling, sealing the exits with debris. We're not watching. We're buying him time. Jean's voice cracked. This is his war. Beast could barely breathe. And his death. In the swarm, Logan was bleeding. Bad. One mutant boy with tentacles wrapped around his torso and hurled him through the air. Another hit him with a burst of ice, encasing his legs. A flying girl clawed across his back. Another fired bone projectiles into his side. Logan roared through the agony. Every hit he took gave him clarity. Every cut reminded him this wasn't about victory. It was about sacrifice. He grabbed the boy who froze him, whispered, "I'm sorry," and disabled his spine with a surgical jab. He looked at the girl with the wings. She looked back. For a moment, just a second, he saw something flicker in her eyes. A memory, a face, a name. Then her eyes went white again, and she dove. Logan didn't flinch. He caught her midair and didn't let go. Magneto raised a hand, ready to intervene. Jean stopped him cold. This is his endgame. Inside the chaos, Laura finally moved. She stepped toward the storm of energy, claws trembling. "Daddy." Logan turned. Their eyes met. His face was covered in blood, but his voice was clear. "Don't come in here, kid. You don't need more ghosts." Her lips trembled. "You saved me." He gave the smallest nod. "And now I'm saving them." He pulled something from his belt, a canister. Beast gasped. "The Virus X disruptor." Logan looked at Laura one last time. "I love you." Then he triggered it. A blue pulse exploded outward, energy slamming into every Sentinel-enhanced child. The tech inside them fried. Power systems collapsed. Bodies dropped, not dead, but unconscious, stripped of the control network. The swarm fell silent. And in the center, Wolverine collapsed. Smoke rising from his skin, claws retracted, and he didn't get back up. Jean was the first to reach him. She dropped to her knees beside Logan's motionless body, blood still steaming on his chest, his eyes open, but glassy. His healing factor wasn't working. Not this time. The disruptor pulse had hit him too. It wasn't just built to shut down the tech. It was built to kill the host. "Logan," her voice was broken glass. "Please." Storm arrived seconds later, falling beside her. Laura didn't cry. She couldn't. She just stared, hands trembling, blade still out, knuckles white. "He saved them," she whispered. Beast confirmed it with a scanner. "The virus is purged. Their neural links are fried. They're just children again." Cyclops stood frozen. The man he swore to hunt. The friend he once hated. The soldier who just saved the mutant race, alone. Xavier's voice echoed in every X-Man's head. "I felt it. He's gone." Magneto landed behind them, cape fluttering softly. He didn't speak. He simply bowed his head. For once, even he had no war to fight. They carried Logan's body back to the Xavier Institute in silence. There was no ceremony, no speeches, just an empty chair in the war room, and one message playing on loop. Logan's final recording, triggered by his death. "If this plays, I'm dead. Don't cry for me. I made my choice. You were all family, even when I didn't act like it, even when I fought it. I wasn't trying to be a hero. I was just trying to make sure we had a future. And if I'm lucky, maybe this time, they'll remember me for something other than the body count." Static. Then silence. A week passed. Then a month. The world began to hear whispers of what happened in Janosha. The humans didn't believe it. The governments tried to spin it. But the children told the truth. Mutant children, once dormant, spoke of the man with claws who saved them, who stopped the voices, who ended the nightmares. They didn't call him Wolverine. They called him the Last Sentinel. A statue was built outside the Xavier mansion. Logan, on one knee, holding Laura's hand. Beneath it, just one line. He didn't betray the X-Men. He betrayed the system that betrayed us all. One morning, Laura placed Logan's dog tags at the statue's feet. Then she vanished. Some said she went after the last hidden labs. Others said she went west, to find peace. Jean always believed she went looking for answers Logan never got to finish. Cyclops started a new initiative. Not a strike team, not a school, a protection unit for mutant children, especially the engineered ones. He called it Protocol X. Magneto left Earth for a time, but before he disappeared, he left a note at Logan's statue. For the only man who ever made me feel human. Beast took Logan's broken claws and preserved them, not in a lab, but in the garden. He planted a tree over them. It grew fast and strong. Somewhere deep in Canada, a figure walked through the snow. Heavy boots, a familiar silhouette. But when they turned, only animal eyes stared back. No words, just instinct, just survival. Maybe it was a myth. Maybe it was a clone. Maybe it was something the Earth refused to let die. But one thing was certain. Legends don't stay buried. And Wolverine was never just a man. He was the choice no one else was willing to make. So the world could still have a chance, even if it hated him for it, forever.